Wait till about your home.
Years of Strange
Party!
Here we go. Say no one's gonna leave you now. No one's gonna leave you now. You act so funny, girl, when I give you loving, girl. Now is that so very mean? Girl, I treat you like a queen, but you took all my loving, girl, and that isn't funny, girl. And oh, what more can I say now? Yeah. You know I'm leaving for sure.
When you look at the history of like music, it's rebel music, right? You know what I mean?
Rebel music?
Yeah, man. I mean, all of reggae, all of ska is rebel music. So, those musics with a message, like, so that's why I like the Police and all that. You know what I mean? And early Wailers. I mean, that's rebel music. Breda Payaka is it's deep into talking truth to power. Yeah.
Can't stand to go and broke it. There's no life only telling there. While I sat them up in at home, get love cash. But you they despise. Can't stand to go and broke it. There's no life only telling there. While I sat them up in at home, get love cash. But you they despise. Here you go.
Okay, 10 o'clock, I'm buying 3 small businesses.
Corbin Monkey.
Downsizing IBM, leaving thousands unemployed.
Corbin Monkey.
Ooh, our lunch at 12, my mistress at 12:30.
Corbin Monkey.
And Williams and Jones are getting the axe by 2 o'clock.
Corbin Monkey.
See, it's all about me, only me, and it doesn't matter who I screw over.
Corbin Monkey.
Hell, I'd even sell downtown Tampa for a profit.
Corbin Monkey.
They'll be so proud of me, I'll get a large raise.
Corbin Monkey.
Maybe I'll be head of marketing, CEO, or even the president.
Corbin Monkey. You always look at people when the monkey come around. You always look at people when the monkey come around. They map like big shot and them drive around the town. They map like big shot and them drive around the town. Me no want no puppet cause he's around. Tell me no want no puppet cause he's around.
The band was founded by Will Haynes in 1993. The original name for the band was Planet Dread. Will worked at Folks Music, where he made connections with several of the band members.
Clyde came into the music store and he had a bit of an accent. I said, "Where are you from?" He's like, "Ah, man, I'm from the Bahamas and I want to get my grandfather's cornet, repaired." And I'm like, "All right, well, give us a look." I was like, and then I said, "Can you sing?"
Go. The man boy them in the dance just a wiggle and a prance. Dark body sing gal and give them a chant. Somebody tell them the reason why. No pretty gal never give them reply. With the monkey skanky donkey, the gal them the one around it. Yeah. Monkey skanky donkey, the gal them the one around it. Monkey skanky donkey, the gal them the one around it. Monkey skanky donkey, the gal them the one around it.
great drummer, but something had happened where he had to like do less gigs. So we were in a lurch. We still had, like I said, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, twice on Sunday. So that's when, like I said, Ducky came in the picture. And Ducky, I remember Ducky was there, but those small nuances he was getting. And I remember thinking, this cat has heart. You came to my crib one time and was like, is it this? Yep. Is it this?
John Woolman had to bow out of doing a bunch of gigs and
a whole bunch of gigs.
And they're like,
baptism of fire.
I was thinking, oh well, you know, I played drums when I was younger, and yeah, I know how to play drums. And then it was soon after that I realized I didn't know how to play drums.
20 years.
No. Any musician has a story where you're suddenly next to people that are way better than you, and it pushes you to improve. Like, attribute Strangeways to really pushing me back into music in a very, very intense way.
I met Will at the Folks Music. I needed some lubrication for my trombone. You needed a trombone player. I came to rehearsal, never heard of ska, never heard of Jägermeister, and now I love them both.
Bruce brought something unique and fascinating to the band. It was an improvisational spirit. The current lineup really was established back in the mid-90s.
It's a really cool band called Planet Dread, and we want to bring you in for an audition. So
Tony actually is the longest sustaining member.
And we all collectively love the specials. We all collectively love the English beat. I really love the English beat. We all collectively love the Toasters. Salute to the man, New York Fever. Toasters. I'm still tripping that we got John in our band.
Early in my career,
Yeah, man.
back in the 60s and 70s, there were so many great musicians around and a lot of great horn players, but they all sounded like somebody else.
Right.
Like every sax player said, "Oh, I'm going to listen to this guy," and they'd sound like that guy. Or every guitar player, and I said,
Mr.
"I'm going to
Young.
sound like me." Because I get to be a kid again, and since I'm like the oldest guy around, I think they got me in the band because they found out you could get a tax deduction from the government if you hire like old people.
Listening to the Toasters, man, New York Fever, all those, that was his sound. So when he became a part of this band, I was like, hell yeah. He comes in, I'm like, yo, no man, come, saxophone man. And he crushes.
Soon you'll be gone, and I'll be on the road. Soon you'll be gone, and I'll be on the road. Listen, baby, listen. Girl, you know you had my heart. Love you, baby, really right from the start. And I hope and pray you will. Love you, girl, still you still. Give me a sound that is discomfort. Give me a sound by them thinking. Give me a sound, give me a sound, give me a sound by the bring that heat. Give me a sound that's discomfort. Give me a sound by them thinking. Give me a sound, give me a sound. 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 Give me a sound, give me a word of bombardment around the way. One baby sound boy and play. What happened to the orange streets of Baghdad? Old school ruins and the dread.
We got this letter from this band from Jersey that they were already named Planet Dread. I'm sitting in a pub, an English pub, with my buddy Dave, and we're drinking Boddington's, which is brewed at Strangeways Brewery. So he's like,
England,
yeah, Manchester.
Manchester, England, yeah.
And Strangeways, incidentally, is a notorious prison. And he turns the can on its side and said, "These Strangeways."
We were in the Down Under. I remember we were
I
in
was
the,
a terror back
we,
in the
we
day.
were in the parking lot, and you're like, you know what? I'm thinking about calling it Strangeways. I remember thinking, I don't know, man.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, I was fighting you. You're like, no. And you explained it. It's from England. It was also an insane asylum. So it kind of grew on me. It took a little minute. I was like,
Sounding great. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of The Freezer. I'm Craig, this is Nick. Is it Nick?
It is Nick.
Craig and Nick. Welcome everybody, that's Strangeways. Our next guest, you've known him for years as the lead singer and bass player of Strangeways. And we're gonna bring him out and talk about his newest ventures. Please welcome Jason Wabarocha. Jason, nice to meet you. Thanks for coming out. I wanted to show, this is Strangeways' debut album, their CD. You can get it online at thestrangeways.com. Are you focused? So Jason, how long were you the lead singer for Strangeways?
Strangeways has been around for about 10 years. We've been playing in Sarasota, various areas, but we made ourselves known at the 5 O'Clock Club. We've been playing there for a while.
Now,
I want to big up the Georgia 5 O'Clock Club. Yeah.
Now, everybody I talk to in this town knows who Strangeways is,
Right.
and everybody goes nuts when I mention Strangeways. So tell us about what you're doing now. You've been on a world tour, haven't you?
Yeah.
You're with a new band?
As of 2004, I've been playing with a band called the Toasters. They're like really and truly, they're the grandfathers of American Ska. They've been around since 1983.
You heard of the Toasters, yeah. All right! You wanted the best. best. You got the best. Here's the best band in the world, Strangeways.
Song is called 9th Degree. Degree for them. With the Strangeways. 9 degree. Sir, 9 degree for them. Tell them no fool, cause music give me the woman I miss, I give me the wit. From the song up on them, but they heard the righteous spit. We say no child, let them a beg of it. When they come to revolution, gonna run this it. Anyway, try overstand how I can sit. And the evil man and wickedness are on the street. We say no child, let them a beg of it. When they come to revolution, knock down them mostly. What? Condition a man a physically fit. What? Condition a niceness we have it. Rough than the linen of them a more than the streets. Anywhere they go, Strangeways down a head down the line.
We did endless ska shows. I mean, we opened up for Bim Scala Bim, the Toasters, Jimmy Cliff, Tower of Power,
Yellow Man.
The Scotalize probably is our biggest one because we were on tour and we played almost non-stop for like a month.
One of our biggest fans, Mr. Bill Pomeroy, set the record for the furthest journey to see a Strangeways show. He kayaked from his backyard on Philippi Creek in Sarasota, Florida, all the way to Key West, Florida, where Strangeways was playing in downtown Key West at Schooner's Wharf. He dragged his kayak all the way down the Gulf Street.
Just come down on Boston soon on the banks of the river now. Here comes a boat, only half afloat, with the grizzly toothless fire. But there's one boat to this desolate shore, let's go on the river now. Doesn't seem to care, no more wind in his hair as he reaches his last half mile. His smile. With an oar in his hand. Let's float on the river now. Let's float on the river.
Man, we made $80,000 the first year when Clyde joined the band.
Yeah, so I had to issue 1099s for the guys, and they're like, well, what am I supposed to do with this? We were doing a double at the Down Under, and we were playing the 5-0.
I know that you got that.
Because we could play basically whatever we wanted.
Yeah.
And they ate it up.
I personally think that's how we got that much tighter.
This one come loud and clear. Nothing happened in this town.
Nothing ever happens in this town. Nothing ever happens at all. Nothing ever happens in this town. Nothing ever happens at all. Nothing ever happens in this town. Mine is no strict in the mall. Always fun is skanking in this town. Hanging out and having a ball. Always fun is skanking in this town. Waking up the neighbors at all. Nothing ever happens in this town. Nothing ever happens at all.
Root. Kick up your boots, Come on. Once more.
In most of the shows that we would do, in the early days, you remember we used to have, especially at Lemon Coast, we would have a sound ordinance, and they would bring police in.
Yes.
We would get stopped in the middle of a set. The guy would sit there with the sound
Decimal
thing,
meter.
decimal meter, and it would stop us.
Everywhere we played, we got a complaint.
So that's what that was about. That whole frustration about not being able to play.
Well, we got
Wow.
We got Dolphin Towers.
Police officer, fix in a bubble and go in a car. Just want freedom to play. This ska music will stay. Sound can't transfer like behind bars. Try to make it killer, stuck in the shadows. You find a policeman putting on arrows. Most of them talent every way. All around the massive village every day. Hey you! Just trying to survive. When we say 1, 2, back and roll, back right to the door. It's a police in a dance and we get to get some more. It's a 5, 6, pick up 6, back right to the door. It's a police in a dance and we get to get some more. There's a bubble in the dance, there's a bubble in the body. There's a bubble in the dance, there's a bubble in the body. There's a Rudy in the dance, there's a Rudy in the body. There's a bubble in the dance, there's a bubble in the body. Party, Bruce.
So the first CD we recorded at a garage studio in Venice,
Dan
Florida.
Destructo.
Yeah, Dan Destructo. And it was, it's impromptu.
Totally punk rock.
We got in there.
We organized a tour to promote the new CD, Corporate Monkey. We put half of our gig money into a band tour fund. And somehow, Will was able to book gigs all the way from Florida to Maine and back. In New York, we even played at the iconic CBGB's
somehow Tony was dating a girl, Leslie, and she knew Hilly from CBGB's. So we get a gig at CBGB's where
On tour.
Sting, Talking Heads, Blondie,
Stones,
Toaster,
Superdog.
yeah, I mean everybody.
Before we got signed to Moon Ska, we would book more and more gigs. Like we did a Florida tour, and then we did a whole 2-week tour where we went to North Carolina and that kind of thing.
So I have to give a quick shout out to Tony from Daddy Cool Records, Tony Refrigiato, because we were his little darlings, and he loved Strangeways, and he would just throw us on the bill because he knew we would show up.
The band did a second recording in 2000. This CD was called Another Round. The band recorded it at Panda Studios in Clearwater, Florida. The engineer was George. George was a very intense guy, intense recording sessions. And he actually had the reel-to-reel tape recorder that John Lennon recorded Imagine on. It was right there in his studio, and Strangeways recorded on it.
Joa, how are you? See you give me phone calls, now what I want to. See you give me phone calls, I'm out of the blue. Pick you up at 8 on 9, I'm on no. Figure out, and figure out. Super late next morning, you want to cuss me out. Not gonna tell me about this reality. Pick your pipe, pick it for me right. Pick man, alright.
All Blues, which was one of my favorite Miles Davis, is in 6/8, so I decided to try to do it in 4/4 with a ska beat, and then the band came up with an amazing arrangement, and then Serenade to a Cuckoo by Ross on Roland Kirk was an amazing song.
Every time we Toasters would come to town, we'd come and open up for the Toasters, right? In fact, the first time we played was the State Theaters is back in the early 90s. And I remember us really debating if we were going to play something we played those Thursday, Friday, Saturday, was Midnight Hour. And I was like, man, I don't know, because that's a Toasters tune, blah, 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 blah. But the first time we ever opened up for the Toasters, we played it. And Bucket loved it.
She's a really little girl in town. I put her away for my sister. She's the only one around. She's the only one I know. Only one I know who really loves me so. In the midnight hour. Ooh, in the midnight.
I always think of every band that I'm in is like a molecule, an atom. Like, what happens in this band if you got these heavy cats? Okay, what happens in these bands if you got these? And it was really easy with Strangeways because we were hungry, we knew the tunes, we already played the style, so it was easy to mess with the style. There was ska punk that was going on, so like Throwaway was the ska punk kind of thing, just to see if we can do it.
I have to admit, Throwaway has to be my favorite Strangeways song.
It's hits.
That there are days and nights that lie ahead, like an endless street, and that's a child emotion. I've been find myself beside myself, and wonder what it means. Sometimes like distortions, sometimes silence is a friend to me. When nothing much you say, I live on my assumptions. Then I try to collect all my thoughts and throw it all away. Sometimes late at night I lie awake, I'm thinking of a brighter day. Will my future hold in front of me? Will I make history? Or will I screw it up and throw it all away? Strangeways song.
One of your gigs, I heard your amp caught on fire.
That was in Gulfgate at an Irish pub, and my
Paddy wagon.
speaker caught on fire. It was a polytone, and you have that foam grill cloth. Remember, it's like Velcroed on, and I could see this glow of orange behind it.
Cool.
During the
And
gig?
looking up, yeah, and I could tell that my speaker was on fire. So I ripped off that little Velcro thing, the cover, and I had a beer on my amp, and everyone's looking at me. It's getting worse,
Yep.
So I just got my beer and I threw it on the speaker. And
I don't think you realize how nonchalantly you threw your beer on it.
Yeah.
He just turns to it and he's just like,
I sat in my car. I had a cassette of the specials, and I listened to that song over and over.
The Strangeways Band, 30 years old, is still performing around Sarasota and beyond.